we'll pay for your room and board, but you have to sit in an apartment and play Warcraft 8 hours a day to prepare for TV leagues with 3 other gamers or something. I would have been elated. I would have been like, hell yes. I really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed playing it, and I was willing to get better. And it was an exciting game for me. Not so much anymore, but at a time, I did take it very seriously, and I really wanted to become better, and was willing to make sacrifices to become better. So, I don't know. If you want it, you'll go through if you want it enough, you'll go through the measures that it takes to become good. But interesting questions, Gemini. So thank you for that. Message from Noble Light, about the King of the Hill thing. And Andy Sib asked me how to play Undead in 3v3. I'm not really sure. I think Fiends are pretty popular in 3v3. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, but that's a question I just don't know the answer to. I haven't played a large team game in a really long time. And I don't play Undead, so I don't know. But I imagine Fiends and basic stuff. Just come up with strategies with your friends and work on them. Sorry, just trying to find... Kaba sent very nice PM. Thank you, Kaba. And I'm really glad you enjoy it. And I'm glad that some of you guys listen to and like the Q&A piece. I'm glad it hope it helps. And he says if he was good enough to have questions to ask, he would. Don't be worried, dude. Anything you have a question about, I don't care what it is, or even if it's like why make altar, it's like, dude, I'll answer it. It's not a problem for me. I don't care what your guys' skill level is. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Even if Todd messages me with a question, I'm going to teach him. Okay, message. Silent Scope. Not a question. No, and no, I'm not getting grilled by some Silent Scope. I just offered to host his audios for him on FileFront or whatever. I never took the time to listen to his how to get a girl audios or whatever. But he seems like a nice guy, Silent Scope. He seems like a pretty nice guy, right? I don't have any beef with him or anything. I don't know, not really too interested in the topic. So, yeah, okay. I haven't been playing much lately. Okay, no, sorry, not a question. Damn, let's see. Okay, I think finally some questions. He says, many people I know help me out. Say I'm not fast enough. My APM normally ranges around 100, but I don't understand people move so fast. Do you have any tips on that? How to improve, etc.? Thank you for the compliments to Unholy Shaman. This is from Unholy Shaman. I think I talked about APM in one of my previous audios. I made a chess analogy. I think it was my first audio I did since I became staff. You can scroll back. I think it was Human against Night Elf. Todd against SK Hot on Twisted Meadows. Across map. Todd spawning on the right. Hot spawning on the left. So you can search for that. And I think at the end of the audio commentary during my Q&A, I touch on the topic of APM. But, you can just try to. And also around 100 probably isn't that bad. I mean, I know Axlab, he works me 99% of the time. And he gets like 100, whatever. I used to never get below 200, but now I get 170 every time. So it's not a big deal, whatever. A lot of people whine about spamming and stuff like that. Spamming in the beginning of the game, and I don't think it's such a bad thing. I think what you do in the beginning of the game kind of sets a tempo for how you're going to be later in the game. Like, in the beginning of the game, I spam my hotkeys, not because I want to let Gosu on the APM chart, but because I'm setting a tempo. First off, I'm checking my hotkeys to make sure that they're all right. my building hotkeys. But then if I keep that tempo of being fast with my fingers, being fast with what I'm doing, later on when I need that speed, I'm going to already be doing it, so it won't be a problem. It's a lot harder to start slow and go fast when you immediately need it than to be fast when you don't really need it, and keep that speed for when you do need it, if that makes any sense. So that's some things I would say. So don't be afraid to spam in the beginning and try and set a tempo, and then just try and keep that tempo. Try and be fast. In your next few games you play, try and be as fast as possible. Use your hotkeys, split shit up, just be smart and play hard. Alright. It's from Imperium. He says, I have a lot of problems with fast expo human against undead. If I manage to get it up, which is hard, I tend to get overpowered by the time I hit tier 2. If I make a lot of towers, my tech gets delayed too much, but without them I just get rolled. My micro is above average in most cases, but when I go for fast expand, I just can't hold it up. Do you have any good points in the matchups? Maybe I should work on a one base build instead. There are only a few circumstances where I'd fast expand against undead, namely when they go fiends, which is probably easiest to fast expand against compared to ghouls. Yeah. And but against ghouls it's a little bit harder. Usually when I fast expand against ghouls, it's only on certain maps like say LT or like Echo Owls. I may clear my merc camp and then expand, which makes it a lot easier to expand. I'd say most of the time it's stuff like that. Like if I clear a merc camp, then expand, which just makes it a lot easier to defend. Usually when I fast expand against ghoul users, I go rifles because first off, it's a good choice against ghouls. Ghoul users probably not going to do anything too differently. And second off, you need it to fight destroyers. I don't like having to stay at tier 1 so long to amass towers and allow them to expand and have nothing to show for it. But towers are necessary. Whenever they get a lot of destroyers, no matter what the hell you're going, unless you go gyros, actually. But whenever they have a lot of destroyers, you're going to need quite a few towers. So be prepared to do that. Because otherwise they're just going to hit and run you and shit like that. So yeah, so usually go rifles whenever you fast expand. That you can start getting them at tier 1. They're good later game. And they transition well at tier 2, and they help defend the expansion. So it's mostly knowing when to expand. That's just something you get from experience and stuff like that. So I don't know, just keep fast expanding, keep working on it. You'll get better at defending on it. But only a few situations against school users I had fast expanding. Against fiend users I usually fast expand. And one thing that helps about that is getting an arcane tower as soon as possible. Fast expand against fiend users because it's easy to get fiends. Like if you force them to fight by an arcane tower, if you can get their DK out of mana, it's easy to get fiends low. And if he can't coil, they're either going to die or he's going to have to run them. And, you know, bring some militia when he hits your expo, stuff like that. It's not that hard. Yeah. So hope that helps. Alright, I'm going to try this. Alright, this Swedish nickname. It's DoedKombatant. It's going to be fun to hear an American pronounce a Swedish name. Now, I wish I knew a Swedish person in real life so I could have them pronounce it, and then I could like act like someone who actually figured it out on their own, but I don't. So I'm just going to call you Anna Botten. No, I'm just joking. Okay. I'm going to go with Doed Combatant, or Doed Combatant. So, I don't even know what that means. I'm going to guess it means like dead soldier. Would that be right? Because Doed is kind of like dead and combatant is like combatant, which is like a soldier. So, I'm going to guess that means dead soldier or something. And thank you for the PM, Doed Combatant. I'm going to stick with that. So, tell me how close I was. Yep.